What does one say to an ancient Nephilim ghost?
I suppose you start with...
Look into my eye.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
What's going on YouTube? It's Filthy, and we're back with another Diablo 3 Season 30 build-up video. Season starts on Friday. Very excited, and very excited to bring this Crusader starter guide. Crusader is going to be a lot of fun next season. It's got some really strong push options in terms of Akkhan Condemn Crusader, which is the starting set, which is good. We do also have the Aegis of Valor Automatic Fist of Heavens, which I think is going to be one of the most popular speed builds in the game. Very easy to play, very powerful, which is going to be good. So this is Season 30, Soul Shards Return from Season 25. So let's talk about how to make a Crusader and how to play it. So today we're going to cover level 1 to end game, from 0 to hero, or if you prefer, beta soy boy to alpha giga chad, and the Crusader late game scales really well, which is nice. Welcome to anybody who is new. I will timestamp some of the important sections of this document. I'll link it for you if you want to have a look at it online yourself for launch night, and I'll put some video links in the description for any footage that we talk about. Likes, as always guys, brighten my day and keep me making these videos. So what's new for Season 30? Well, the Alter of Rites is coming back. This is now a permanent feature in the game. It has been heavily nerfed in terms of the damage you get from it and the damage reduction, but most of the quality of life, in fact all of the quality of life, does return, which is good. Visions of Enmity from Season 29 have also been added to the game permanently, and this season Soul Shards of course offer a very powerful seasonal theme, probably the most powerful season theme we've ever had in Diablo 3 history, so we will be seeing some pretty nutty clears, I think, this season. In terms of the Crusader as a class specific, we've had the Sweepsader has been heavily buffed, so Roland Sweepsader. Not many people bothered trying it on PTR, but I do think it's going to go quite high. I'm hoping that somebody can get really good clears with this. We've had a slight nerf to the Aegis of Valor Fist of Heavens from Season 29, but don't worry, it's still really powerful. GR 130 speeds, no problemo once you get it all up and running. And also a really popular build has returned, which is Blessed Shield. Maybe you call it Shield Throw, maybe you call it Captain America. Looks like Legacy Dreams is going to be the way to go for that, but again, another fun option. Alter of Rites, of course, is not new. It is coming back from Season 28, but it does offer us some really good things. So we get automatic pickups and salvaging of items, which when we go into the Visions of Enmity, we get absolute loot pinata on almost every single floor. So pets automatically picking stuff up and salvaging it for us is going to feel lovely. Double DBs is always handy. Double bounty caches makes setting up all of your builds very easy. Resource on crit, double primals, double legendary items at Kadala, triune potions. We do have the potion powers, albeit the power pylon has been removed from that and has the empowered shrine. But still, lots from the altar, worthwhile fully unlocking it. But in terms specifically of leveling, well, there's lots that's new. So the Alter of Rites, of course, if you remember from Season 28, is very powerful for leveling because the second node you unlock is items have no level requirements. The first node you unlock is bonus kill streaks, so your kill streaks are twice as effective, so they last twice as long and they're twice as impactful, which is pretty handy. We also, because the Visions of Enmity are in the game now permanently, we can go in those whilst we're at level 1 and we can get items like Death's Breaths, Greater Rift Keys, Bounty Materials, and lots of legendary items. And then particularly this season, because the Soul Shards return, they also are in the loot pool at level 1. You can salvage them, you get a lot of gold for selling the Imperial or Flawless Square gems you get out of them. So the gems are going to be handy to unlock the altar, and also for selling to train up Hadrig. Important dates, as we say, season starts this Friday. Don't do your challenge rift. I have made a challenge rift guide, whether you're on EU or you're on US or console. I have gone through it. The builds might have changed a little bit because we have had a patch update, but ultimately I think those clears that I've done will stand. Don't open your challenge rift. I'd recommend not doing it basically until you get to the point of the altar where you actually need it, and then you can just simply go out the game, do your challenge rift, collect it, sacrifice it straight at the altar, because if you open it you're going to get stuck on the altar and have to wait until Tuesday or Monday evening to reset the challenge rift and collect another bag. So the first steps once the season is live: create or rebirth a character. I always say to people, and I think particularly for the Crusader, you can consider this, which is make a Necromancer, level with the Necro to 70, complete the season journey up to the Hadrig's 6-piece on the Necromancer, power level yourself with a Crusader on Torment 6 because you'll have a Legacy of Dreams gem with a few levels on it. You'll have just any legendary items that will give you huge power. T6 you'll crush. If you find anything with plus XP on as a secondary stat, that will make you get to level 17 in about, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 minutes, and it'll be probably faster doing this than on the Crusader. And of course you want to save your Hadrig's bags until your character, your second one, your Crusader, is level 70, then open the Hadrig's bags on the Crusader, and even though you got them with the Necro, they'll have Crusader things inside, provided you haven't messed up and opened them on the Necro. But I appreciate most people don't want to do that, so we'll carry on as if we're going to make a Seder and we're just going to build it. Of course you want to log into the season, equip your pet, cosmetics, and I've put don't do the challenge rift. You can if you want to box it off, but make sure you start your seasonal character first. Okay, some early steps. Take the follower's weapon. You can salvage it immediately and unlock Alter Node 1 if you want. What you want to really do, I've put boss bounty here for Magda and Cool for some gear, because if it's a boss bounty you do get a chest. One of our early goals is to get a soul shard. Now, having thought about this and having made a video on the Magic Rock event in Tristram, so we do have the Darkening of Tristram events at the moment. So if you go to the portal, which is in what used to be New Tristram, you can then put the game into essentially Diablo 1 mode. You do the labyrinth, you go down, I think to level 5 to get the Magic Rock, and then that's got a high chance, about 85%, of giving you the 2 diamonds you need to unlock the second node of the altar. But having thought that run that through with 6 to 7 minute runs, I think the best strategy to give you the best start will basically be to make a new character, go and kill Zoltan Cool. If he drops you a soul shard, salvage it. If it isn't diamonds, you get out of it, because it's diamonds is what you need to unlock the altar. Put whatever you want in the stash, so put the gems in the stash, delete that character, remake it, go kill Zoltan Cool again, because just running Zoltan Cool and deleting your character probably takes about 1 minute 90 seconds. So by the time you've gone to get the Magic Rock, you perhaps could have got 3 or 4 soul shards. That gives you quite a high probability of actually getting the diamonds that you need. But it's a little bit of a gamble either way. Some people would find it faster doing the Magic Rock, some people would find it faster doing Zoltan Cool. What I would say is if you do go for the Zoltan Cool, just reset method, occasionally he will be the boss bounty, so you'll get some extra gear which you can put in your stash. And secondly, any soul shards you get that you salvage and it isn't diamonds, well, that's just so much more gold to help you with your leveling process. Another very early step, you want to get the cube pretty early. That's Act 3 Runes of Sescheron, because Visions of Enmity, which will spawn in the open world, you have to be in the actual adventure mode of the game. You can't be in a Greater Rift, but when they do spawn, you want to jump in them, because they will give you all those things we talked about earlier. They're very powerful. It's going to really help. Keep the game on whatever difficulty it is that you can crush the Visions of Enmity. So immediately as you start, just keep the game on normal, because it's more important to get the resources than the XP to begin with. But as I say, the early goals are to get the altar to level 2, so that you've got no level requirement on your weapons, and your goal is to train Hadrig as far as you can, and you need gold and Death's Breath for that, and you need the diamonds to unlock the altar level 2. So you need to do Visions to get Death's Breath, you need Visions to get materials to craft items, you need to salvage the soul shards to get gold to train Hadrig as far as you can, preferably up all the way. But to get to 70 as fast as possible, you're just going to make a weapon as soon as you can. Now, if you can only train Hadrig a few levels, then you just want to make the best weapon you can. If you've managed to find enough soul shards and the Death's Breath to fully max him out, which is about 300,000 gold and 1 DB, make a level 70 weapon, stick the game on Torment 6 or the highest that you feel you can play the Visions of Enmity at, run the Temple of the Firstborn in Act 2, go for the Cursed Chests, mask a bonus level, and then once you're done with your kill streak, if a vision has spawned, jump in it, because you want to get those lovely delicious materials and legendary items. But do be efficient, because the legendary item drops, the Death's Breath, the bounty mats, all these things are important. You don't want to be really struggling, because the visions can be tough. There's floors of complete elite enemies, there's boss floors, so it is harder than just doing Massacre bonus leveling, but the rewards I think are worth it. And of course, as soon as you get the materials, make more level 70 items, and that will just make your character even stronger. 2 or 3 level 70 items, you might be able to just stay on Torment 6 the entire way. Remember as well, because you've gone and got the cube, and because the Visions of Enmity at the end in the chest with the goblin will drop bounty mats, you can extract items. So things like Leoric's Crown for extra XP are handy. Hammers, so the Blessed Hammer is pretty much the main skill you use for leveling a Crusader. There's multipliers in the loot pool very early, so you've got the Johanna's Flail, you've got the Guard of Johanna's Shield, you've got the Gabriel's Van Braces. Any of them can go in the cube, and then that will just help you out. Another tip is when you get to 25 Death's Breaths and you've got the mats, the weapon that you crafted at level 70, you can upgrade it. It will go into a legendary item, it will be a big damage increase whatever pops out, plus you might actually get a modifier on it as well. And then I've also put Make Sage's set, it will be impactful, and again, just as you're going in the visions, get as many mats as you can, make as much stuff as you can, and just power your character. As I say, Torment 6, you know, maybe it's Torment 5, maybe Torment 4, whatever it is that you can play on, and just get to 70 as fast as you can. Now, if let's say you do decide that you're going to do the Challenge Rift, you're going to use the Challenge Rift bag to level, and you're going to wait until Monday or Tuesday to unlock the rest of the altar, well, of course, when you open it, you'll have enough materials to craft several level 70 items. Of course, start with a weapon, upgrade that in a cube, and then just basically deck yourself out with level 70 items. Of course, you'll have to go through those early steps that we talked about to unlock the altar node to allow you to use the items, but you'll find it a much faster start, obviously, than not using a Challenge Rift. You will have a lot of gold in this method, so you don't need to sweat the soul shards quite so much. So maybe that's more of an argument for going to do maybe one run of the magic rock, and if you're in the 15% or unlucky, you might have to do it again. You will, of course, have 475 blood shards to spend, and yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But in terms of upgrading things, I think the best thing to go for on a Crusader is a flail. There are 8 options, 3 of which I think are particularly very useful to us. So we've got the Dark Light, which is the Fist of Heaven's weapon. Of course, we want that kind of a little bit later, but it is still good in its own right. We've got Grafalcon's, which is the Blessed Shield one. Again, that's something that's been buffed, we might use that later. And a Johanna's, which is buffing up the Blessed Hammer. Again, all 3 of those options are pretty good. 5 of the other 8 are probably not going to be much use to you. In terms of rolling any blood shards you happen to come across whilst leveling, or if you open your goodie bag and you decide to spend your 470, you're basically looking for shields. A Denial will buff up the Sweep Sader, so Sweep Attack, or Guard of Johanna, which is probably the one you want, which buffs up hammers, because as I said earlier, this is the best leveling skill for the Crusader. If you do get the Guard of Johanna, swap to Braces. You can get your Gabriel's Van Braces. This will help you with resource management on the hammers. And there's an argument that maybe you could start with the Braces and then move on to Shield, but ultimately we tend to look for modifiers as we're leveling. But either of those 2 strategies is fine, and fingers crossed for you, you get both of them. In terms of leveling, as I was kind of trying to stress here, just keep it on the difficulty that is the most comfortable for you. You want to be as efficient as possible, because the Visions of Enmity just allow you to have such a powerful character at 70 and such a good leveling experience. Red gem in the helm for XP. You want red gem in your weapon for damage. Less important with a level 70 weapon, but still will add a little bit to you. And of course, the most important thing you can always buy from the vendors as you level your character will be rings and amulets with plus damage on them. In terms of the Cursed Chest and the Temple of the Firstborn leveling, fully explore the zone. There's resplendent chests in there with gear in. You can spawn a vision at any time. It's a high density zone, so the more stuff you kill, the more chance you get of spawning that Vision of Enmity. DOS range skills make Massacre bonus leveling easier. AoE skills make things easier. I think with hammers in particular, because it goes round and round in like a big loop, it does help keep up Massacre bonusing quite efficiently on the Crusader. Go do a boss bounty if you need any gear boosts or you need any more shards so you can get gold and you can buy stuff from vendors. In terms of Crusader skills to use with leveling, this is now such a dynamic thing. I don't think we can really give you too much of a guide, because it depends. If the game drops you Blessed Shield legendaries in your visions, well, of course you can use them, so on and so forth. But I would say Blessed Hammer is a great skill for leveling, and then just some kind of toughness stuff. Iron Skin, 50% damage reduction. It'll also increase your duration at so you get the Iron Skin at level 8, you get the rune increasing the duration at 21. Anything with move speed is kind of handy. Wings of Angels is the lore that opens up at 36. So anything, if you're too squishy, add toughness. If you want to go faster, add move speed. And yeah, other than that, play hammers, and you should be fine. Now, getting to 70 will hopefully only take you about an hour and a half, depending on your RNG, which methods and all that kind of stuff. When you do get to 70 and you complete your Hadrig Season Journey to get your 6-piece bonus, you're going to get the Armor of Akkhan set. This is an S tier push set. It's an okay speed set, but it's really difficult to set up. We'll go through that in a little bit. But the 2-piece Judgment has no cooldown and you get all the runes. The 4-piece Phalanx reduce Akarat's champion cooldown and cast Condemn if anything is hit by Judgment. So the idea is the 2 and 4-piece synergize quite well. You spam Judgment everywhere, it affects everything, and then whenever the Phalanx attack, they basically cast Condemn for you, which is nice. 6-piece, 1500% increased damage whilst you have Akarat's champion active. So again, that feeds into the 4-piece. The Phalanx attack, they reduce the cooldown on Akarat's champion. You pop it again, and you're dealing this extra damage all of the time. So you need Judgment, you need Phalanx out. They do Condemn. They reduce the cooldown on Akarat's champion, and that gives you your damage modifier. When you do get to 70, I'd consider just running 2 Greater Rifts. You will likely have Rift keys from leveling in the Visions of Enmity. I had 72 on Season 29 when I went through it. A few people have contacted me to say that on the PTR, the Visions of Enmity had reduced keystone drops. I didn't play any Visions of Enmity on PTR really. I didn't really notice there was reduced keys, but I would still expect some by the time you're leveling. And your character's going to be quite strong, and getting a Bane of the Powerful and a Legacy of Dreams gem I think will help you out just completing your season journey, because you can put the Lord gem in, build with the multipliers that you get in the game, and I think you'll just find your season journey to get the 6-piece is a little bit easier. Do remember with the Akkhan set though, the 7 pieces, you can convert items in the cube quite cheaply. So if you do find a couple of Akkhan pieces, you might only have to do the season journey up to the 4-piece, and then you get lucky, drop yourself a couple of Akkhan pieces, and off you go with your 6-piece. You can, of course, always at level 70 make yourself a new fresh Crusader at level 1. Spend any blood shards on there, so really good to get Guard of Johanna, just get it in a cube. Gabriel's Van Braces, get it in the cube. Maybe you're looking for the Vigilante belt, which is in the loot pool at level 1, which buffs up the Fist of Heaven's Crusader. Now in terms of upgrades, so what do you spend your Death's Breath on when you're at 70 or as you're building your character? Well, Condemn and Phalanx are kind of what we're looking for. So Condemn is the damage. The Phalanx don't do any damage themselves, but they do activate Condemn. So you want things that reduce the cooldown on Phalanx, just make it easier for them to get the Condemns out, and you want to build Condemn damage. So we've got a couple of Crusader shields here. The Friday's Wrath is the one that buffs Condemn, and we've got the Unrelenting Phalanx, which helps with the Phalanx activation of the Condemns. There's 11 Crusader shields in the pool. Not normal shields, has to be Crusader shields, but if you upgrade them, you've got 2 out of the 11 that are going to be useful initially, and then you're looking for 1 in 11. That's quite poor RNG. Not as bad as the Blade of Prophecy, which is the 2-handed sword that also buffs up Condemn. There are 13 2-handed swords in the Crusader loot pool, so it is pretty miserable trying to upgrade this. You could easily do 20 or 30 2-handed sword upgrades and not get a Blade of Prophecy. It's a difficult one to hit. So all in all, looking at the RNG of this, it's quite a hard build to set up. Once you do have your modifiers for your Condemned Crusader, you're going to move on and go for rings, amulets, looking for your basic damage stuff, so Convention of Elements, Stone of Jordan. You might hit Focus and Restraint, you can nearly enough always work that into a build. Squirt's Necklace adds more damage. Then after that, weapon-wise, well, we're looking to put Fist of Heavens together, so we're looking for the Flail of the Charge, which is obviously 2-handed flail, and the Shield of the Steed, which is a Crusader shield, and then Pants and Belt for the Aegis of Valor, and for the Vigilante and Cassette's Cord of Righteousness, because we do want Fist of Heavens up and running. Blood Shards at 70, I'm probably going to roll Helms, because you want the Warhelm of Kassar, which again is helpful for the Condemned Crusader, but you might get some Aegis of Valor Helms, which is going to be handy, because that's the build we really kind of want to play. Then we're moving over to shields to try and reduce the pressure on the upgrades. Again, you could start with the shields until you get your 2 condemn ones, then move on to helms. Belts for the Fist of Heaven's belts, and then rings is just generally kind of useful to get. Shopping list, you probably want an Essence of Anguish, a Remnant of Pain, Sliver of Terror. There's multiple soul shards that initially you'll be able to use with the Condemn Crusader or with the Fist of Heavens. It doesn't matter terribly. Guardians and Crimson's plans, of course, are going to be handy. I would probably unlock the altar node for double bounties before going to do this. A Ring of Royal Grandeur is going to be very helpful, whichever build you're going to play, whether it's Condemn or Fist of Heavens. So again, having double bounty caches gives you twice the chance the ring will pop out each time. Of course, you want to get your legendary gems, you want to get your AoV pieces, but this is kind of roughly the list that I'm working on when I'm making a Crusader. Quick note on Legacy of Dreams versus 2 and 4 piece Akkhan. Well, Legacy of Dreams, if you do a couple of rifts and you get it up to maybe rank 9, well, you can easily have a 450% modifier. Comparing that to the 2 and 4 piece Akkhan, 2 piece Judgment no cooldown, gains every rune's not brilliant. The 4 piece reducing the cooldown on Akkhan's champion I don't think is particularly useful. Applying Condemn could be, so I think if I had a Condemn modifier I would prefer to wear 2 and 4 piece Akkhan, and I would probably maybe go for that. But I think actually the fastest way to do the season journey will be to get a Legacy of Dreams gem, whether it's rank 5, rank 9 or whatever. I think that with the hammer modifiers that you can get at level 1, so the Guard of Johanna and the Van Braces, and then just any legendary items you find, will probably be stronger than putting on the 2 and 4 piece Condemn stuff. Now, as I say, this is a very difficult build to put together, so there is unfortunately no budget version of Akkhan. It's not like in a the monk where you can just put it together very easily, but something like this would be what I would imagine. So you would have on 6 pieces of Akkhan, you would drop the helmet because you only need 6 pieces to make the bonus. You're going to be rolling shards for the Warhelm of Kessa. We're going to assume that we're going to get the 2 Crusader shields because they're going to be easier to get than the Blade of Prophecy. An Ingem is a very easy item to get. You can make a Demon Hunter and it's got not too bad chances of upgrading swords to get an Ingem, but of course you don't really want an Ingem here. You do want your Blade of Prophecy, and then Jewellery Belt we've kind of left. We've put the Reaper's Wraps on because they're farmable. Just kill Malthael at 70 and it drops the plans for you, and this is kind of what a budget one would look. You're going to be probably quite resource thirsty, so I've left in Leoric's Crown. Again, it's in the loot pool at level 1, so quite easy to get, with Topaz in the helm, but that's maybe what a budget Akkhan build would look like. You're going to concentrate on cooldown because obviously you really do need this Akkhan's champion active, because without it you do no damage, but the Phalanx hopefully, which obviously would be in this slot here, would do the Condemns and reset the cooldown for you. And of course Condemn, probably just go for the instant activation room. But when you do build this Akkhan Condemn Crusader out perfectly, you're looking to add Crimsons, you're looking to add Orgilds, you're looking to add Focus and Restraint, you're looking to make sure you've got your Blade of Prophecy, your Essence of Anguish, your Sliver of Terror, and just kind of build it out like that. Bane of the Trapped, Enforcer, Stricken, and obviously Judgment, Phalanx, all the usual kind of stuff. The Warhelm of Castle in the cube, Rider's Wrath in the cube, and so on. But it isn't really where we want to go, because whilst you can speed farm with this, it's not terribly efficient. We want to play the super fun Aegis of Valor automatic Fist of Heavens. Now, this is a bit more of a kind of budget friendly build because you just need the suit. The Vigilante belt is very easy to get in loot pool level 1. The one-handed flail is much easier to hit because, as we showed earlier, there's only 8 options. The two-handed flail is a bit of a pain. The Crusader shield is a bit of a pain, but once you've got these two and your suit, Vigilante belt, and Cassette's Cord of Righteousness, you're probably good to go at that point. Squirt's necklace can come later, but this is the build that you're looking for. In terms of putting it together as fast as possible, if you just roll pants, I think they're quite common in the loot pool, and then just do the convert set item and things will pop out. Another note about leveling past 70, if you happen to get lucky and get the Norvald set, so the shield and the flail together, that's a 400% damage mod. That's akin to having that like level 9 Legacy of Dreams gem, so you absolutely want to put that on and then go and do the Akkhan set with it. Again, just build with what the game gives you, and you should be good to go. Aegis of Valor, a bit more kind of perfected. We want to have the Guardian set on. Yeah, we've got the Guardian's helm, we've got the bracers, we've got the cassettes, we've got the Vigilante, we've got the Darklight, Rogue in the cube, Convention, Stone of Jordan, Squirt. We're just pumping this full of maximum damage, and it will crush stuff. I think somebody was doing 130s in like 2-3 minutes on PTR with it, which is lots of fun. In terms of the altered progression and fully unlocking this to get the double primals, well, GR 60, 80, 100 and 110 are the hard cap blood shard limits. Akkhan will do them, absolutely no problem. You probably want Fist of Heavens because it's just faster and easier, but again, either of those two builds I don't think will have much problem with it. An Aegis of Valor automatic Fist of Heavens is a really good build to get your staff for herding because it does damage on the move and you don't have to worry too much about clicking things. You've got pretty much unlimited access to your horse and your mobility skill, so it is quite a fast one, albeit not as fast as Monk, probably not as fast as Demon Hunter, maybe not as fast as Wizard because that can also have infinite teleport, but still a pretty good build to get your Staff of Herding done. Augmenting a weapon is somewhere you're likely to get stuck, so just remember that you can use a rank 0 soul shard as a level 50 augment on a weapon, so that should be quite easy. Reforging things is cheap because of Visions of Enmity. We get lots of bounty mats, so if you get stuck on your puzzle ring, reforge it, put it in the cube until you get an ancient one, and put it in the altar for that unlock. Some of the miscellaneous things to consider as a Crusader: the set dungeon you have to complete for the season journey if you want the cosmetics or just to have the journey done. Seeker of the Light is generally the easiest set dungeon, that's the one that I would plan on doing. And then I've put other fun builds. Obviously we've talked today about Condemn, we've talked about Fist of Heavens. I'd say the next fun build is going to be the Captain America Blast Shield. I'm quite excited to play that one. Sweep, I think, will probably be better than it has been in a long time, so that again also might be a fun one to play, but really I think the Captain America, Condemn and Fist of Heavens will probably be the 3 most popular builds. Right, in the video description link I will put the leveling guide that I've done, which talks about the hack methods. I will link the Fist of Heavens GR130 speed build guide we did on PTR. As of the season launch, I'm really hoping to play the Asia server very early in the morning and then upload my leveling progress for that, so hopefully you can watch that and play along with me. But other than that, thank you for sticking until the end of the video. Feedback always welcome. What future videos do you want to see on the season? As always, like, subscribe, and super thanks, and contributions really do help the channel keep alive and kicking, so thank you to everybody who has donated so far. I've been the Filthy Casual. Take it easy, guys. Peace.